Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Omar Hussein, co-founder of Al-Attas University of Life. First of all, welcome back. I think last week we had a great session with Habib Al-Attas on Bina Semangat. Now, I think this week we are back with a session with a professor from the International Islamic University Malaysia. Now, of course, before we go further into the content as well as the detail of her presentation, I think I'd like to play a video from the original Al-Attas University of Life event, or basically the first conversation that I had with our founder, Prof. S.H. Al-Attas. Now, I think the video itself was recorded in the year 2012, so the quality was, the best we had was 480 pixel. So the session was recorded in Hobart Botanical Garden. Now, I think just so that could be a backdrop, for today's presentation or discussion. So let me just bring up my screen sharing here. All right, and during the conversation later, if you have any questions you'd like to ask our guest speaker, feel free to comment on Facebook or YouTube. I'll try my best to observe them and view them, and basically pass it to our guest speaker. Right, so there we go. Share audio.
Cita-cita saya daripada saya budak-budak lagi, saya ingin jadi somebody. Saya ingin membuat bakti, membuat kebaikan sesama manusia. Dan saya ingin meninggalkan dunia ini sebagai seorang yang baik, a good man. Saya beli tanah dengan lebih 25 tahun dulu, dan saya berbudi kepada tanah. Dan hasilnya yang kita nampak hari ini, dia masuk ke sebuah taman yang sangat cantik, yang ada beribu-ribu pokok, ratusan jenis daripada merata dunia, tapi tak ada pintu pagar. Pohon yang sebesar ini hanya benih mungkin yang sebesar ini sahaja. Sebab kata seandainya ada sebiji benih kurma, besok hari nak kiamat, tanam. Apa untung tertanam pokok? Apa yang berlaku pada dunia hari ini? Global warming. Apa penyebab global warming? Kenapa hari ini kita tengok cuaca tak menentu? Siapa yang mesti disalahkan? Manusia. Sebaik-baik manusia adalah manusia yang boleh membuat sebanyak-banyak kebaikan kepada seramai-ramai manusia. The strength of the human being is not physical body. We are the manifestation of God on this earth. God, we have a great responsibility. People will quote what Socrates says. Okay, can we not create a new Socrates? Some people would ask me, what is the definition of education? To me, education is to give people knowledge. So to educate someone, if he can read and write, he can be educated. Baca. Kenapa kita mesti membaca? Kerana Allah Ta'ala beri kita akal. Hanya dengan membaca baru kita dapat ilmu. University of Life ni bukan saja di taman saya di Kota Baik tidak. Di mana-mana juga ada University of Life. This is not taught in university. Everybody is taught just to pass and get flying colors. Banyak orang bijak pandai yang even bertaraf arif dalam mahkamah, tetapi dalam kehidupan dia menunjukkan kebodohan-kebodohan dia kerana dia tak ada jiwa. Kita mengamalkan apa yang dikatakan rukun 5. Islam bukan sekadar ritual. Islam harus ada spiritual. Di sini dia keluar daripada University of Life, dia dapat hati dia sahaja, iaitu dia dapat ilmu tawakal. Sifat-sifat Tuhan dalam diri kita, cuba kita fikirkan. Siapa yang duduk dalam diri manusia itu? Bukankah Tuhan ialah sedekat-dekatnya pada manusia? Lebih dekat daripada urat leher dia? Kalau dalam diri kita ada Tuhan, dalam diri manusia lain boleh Tuhan juga. Orang-orang yang hebat-hebat, yang ada wang ratusan juta, orang yang terkenal, termasyhur, sama dia seorang film star, seorang ahli politik dan sebagainya. Mereka hidup dalam stres. Mereka tak dapat ketenangan. Kita nak kena buang air tu, masuk air baru. Kalau itu juga air yang duduk dalam gelas tu kita minum tak sedap. Dia akan belajar suatu benda yang boleh mengeluarkan dia daripada kepompong. Saya yakin dengan Tuhan, semua ni Allah Ta'ala punya, saya tumpang sahaja dalam muka bumi ini. But you never realize that you're not rational alone. You think you are smart. You're not. A superhuman is someone who has a super mind, right? Who will be remembered 1,000 years after his death. That is a superman. That is a great man. He leave a legacy behind.
Alright, so as you guys can see, that was the original video. Please pardon and apologize. I apologize for any kind of error in terms of editing or anything like that. But the original content, it's definitely regarding the idea that anyone can participate. It's a community-based experience where we would like to educate people at the same time, provide learning resources. So for today, we have the pleasure of inviting, the professor I was talking about earlier, Professor Dr. Rahmah binti Ahmad. Prof, how are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Thank you, Mark. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good as well. It's definitely a pleasure that we have to actually, have you share your knowledge, inshallah, today.
Astaghfirullah, I have no knowledge.
I'm
just here to share whatever, hopefully, whatever I would like to share is relevant.
Sure. And Prof, I'd like to walk the audience today with regards to your background. So, Prof Rahma is a professor in Arabic literature at the Department of Arabic Language and Literature with KIRKHS in IIUM. So she got her bachelor's degree with honors from Al-Azhar University, Cairo, Egypt, master's from University of Jordan, Amman, and PhD from the School of Oriental and African Studies in London, UK. So she served at the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia as the Director of Education Malaysia Division. So one of the notable projects is that she was instrumental in internationalization landscape of the Ministry of Higher Education. So she produced 4 policy papers and approved by the Malaysian government for 43 initiatives to internationalize at the national level. So I think you definitely bring with you some knowledge, inshallah, that can be shared with the audience. But to give you a context, Prof, what we're discussing today, kenali diri. So why the topic was chosen, it's because one thing, Prof. S.H. Al-Attas mentioned that he noticed because of the pandemic, a lot of people had no choice but to either, change jobs, find new jobs. Some have been retrenched. And I think a key issue, which may be relevant to you, is that a lot of graduates who just recently got their certificates, their degree, but are having issues to actually look for employment. So I think that should be the context of the discussion today. And I understand that you have some slides to share before we actually get in the question and answer. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I think why don't you go ahead and bring up your slides, and you can have the stage. And I think once you are done with your presentation, and then maybe I can come back and we can continue with the question and answer. And if there's anyone else who'd like to ask Prof. Rama as well, just let me know. I'll be collecting the questions. So let's let Prof continue with the presentation. And Prof, if you need any help with me sharing your slides from my side, I can do that as well. Just letting you know. Okay, I can see your slides. So without further ado, the stage is all yours. So I think, let's give it a round of applause. So go ahead, Prof. Rama.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I'm honored and thrilled and humbled for this opportunity given by my Abba, Pak Habib, Syed Hussein Al-Attas, Professor Syed Hussein Al-Attas, my mentor, my spiritual guide, to share on the topic of mengenal diri. Before that, I would like to share a few other things. The theme that I would like to bring is proactively navigating the future by design and not by chance. So if there is a future that we envision, we need to be the catalyst towards changing and bringing that dream, that inspiration, that aspiration into reality. And my motto for a number of years already is acculturating itqan, ikhlas and excellence in all undertakings. And this is very relevant to the life of a Muslim. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always emphasized on itqan, quality, and before we come to any kind of excellence, we need to bring that, practice that, believe that, live it, this itqan. And then secondly, ikhlas. If we not ikhlas, then it is nothing. Then only we will achieve excellence in whatever that we venture to do. Let us now go to the word clarity. As Muslims, I really believe this, and I always propagate this to my students and whoever comes to me. The fact that we need clarity on who we are, which is our values, where we are going, which is our vision, and how we will get there, our mission. I always also request my students to close their eyes and think for a while, closing their eyes and think and envision in the next 5 years, what will I be? What do I want to be? The current situation that I am in, if I continue like this, what will be my condition in the next 5 years? Then I will change. No, I don't want that. Therefore, I want to be someone else. Now, what do I need to enable me to reach that vision? Therefore, we will have to need our mission. then we need planning. Because there are individuals in this life, and I have witnessed that, who search for the meaning with great energy, the meaning of clarity, the meaning of having a vision, the meaning of having values with great energy, but don't allow for moments of silence to reflect and focus. We see this scenario in our lives on a daily basis. People running after things like, sukara, like they are drunk, they do not know what they are chasing after, they don't know what hit them, but they just moving as fast as they can, and without really having the time to sit down, reflect and think, oh my God, what is my mission? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create me? Why on earth am I here? And that is why we need to have and allow for us on a daily basis. For instance, after Salat al-Fajr or after Salat Duha or Shuruk, just sit down on our sajada and reflect and think, okay, what am I going to embark on today? What is the real, the right decision? Add to the after Salat Duha 2 raka'ah istikhara on a daily basis. Istikhara not for hajat because you want to get married or this and that, but for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's daily guidance on what we need to do. The very simple thing, sometimes we are driving and we come to a T-junction and we're not sure whether to go to the right or left because the signboards are lost. So as simple as that. Or another, we women, I always tell, I'm speaking about myself, with fickle-minded, we open our cupboard, there's like tens of clothing now. We can't remember last week on Monday where we're wearing the blue, or the simple things. With this practice of istikhara on a daily basis, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless us with guidance from the smallest of things to the biggest of decisions. Because without that clarity, we will never really see what truly matters, and that is very, very dangerous when what truly matters is in front of our eyes and we are not able to see it. Another thing that I would like to share with everyone, especially the young generation, we are living in a time where we are surrounded by time stealers. Trying to grab our time, and everyone, no matter who they are, they only have 24 hours a day, and time stealers happens when we are not planning. That's why I was saying, start your day with istikhara on a daily basis, end your day after Salat Isha, do your Salat Witir, and reflect on what happened, what did I do today, how many people did I hurt, what are the things that I planned to do and I did not accomplish, now how do I correct and improve that in the next day. And this planning of your daily task is essential, is extremely actually crucial. I really believe in that. Secondly, personal weaknesses. We are so like kelalang, when people do this, we go that. Why we are doing this? Oh, I don't know, because that's the trend. Everybody's doing it. This is our personal weakness, and that's why I started off with, we have to have clarity in our life. We need to know our values. We need to have, as Muslims, we need to inculcate, acculturate, and there's a difference between enculturating and acculturating. Enculturating is when there is already a good habit and we are trying to improve to make it better. But acculturate, when we know for ourselves that we have so many bad habits, now we would like to replace those bad habits with good habits. That's acculturating. So personal weaknesses, popular activities, social media, without, this is, we're living in the time of Dajjal. You start off with just responding to a comment which popped up in our phone. from Facebook or Twitter, and then we do without us realizing, we spend a whole hour or 2 hours responding to other nonsenses, when our wajib there, our work is becoming in abundance. Popular activities and procrastination. Yeah, procrastination is no. We just in March. There's still April, May, June, and July, and the deadline is by end of the year. So let's do it tomorrow. Or there is a nation that I know of that everything they do is bukra tomorrow. And as though we are so certain that we will love to see tomorrow. That is procrastination, and that's the worst thing that a youngster can do, by sitting and lying down on the couch and thinking that they have all the time in their life. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. This is a very beautiful quote, and I really believe it. So comes with that, this is where this statement comes in. Let passion be the driving force of your success. Again, coming back to, we started off with having clear values, clear vision, and knowing what we need to do to achieve that mission. As with so many other things in life, your heart and then your head should dictate what thesis project, what other projects, and what other things that we should embark on. Doing your best requires that you are passionate about what you are doing. And I'm sure many people now realize, if we do things because we are forced to, or because we are doing it to please someone else, we are doing it just to finish it off, no matter what the cost is, no matter how the outcome will be, as long as it's done, but without any passion. And then one day when we have the time to reflect, we might say, oh my God, what on earth did I do? And as a mother, I realized just now that a number of things that I forced it on my children, and they just did it to please me, but they did not have passion in that. That was not their passion. And for instance, my son, I only have one son, Ahmad. I forced him into engineering, aircraft engineering, and he had a very, very tough time because for aircraft engineering, when you get a B, that is already a failure. So he needed to repeat a number of courses because getting a B. And finally, to please me, he completed his degree after a few years more than the other friends, and he has a degree in aircraft engineering, but now he cannot use that for anything because his passion is not in there. And now finally he is he's more of a people's person, so he is a manager, managing now tuition and upskilling for those who have disabilities in learning, and he seems to enjoy that. So we must do everything with a passion, because allow your passion to become your purpose, and it will one day become your profession. And when it becomes your profession, like now, my passion has always been to be a lecturer. I so much want to be a lecturer. And finally, now that I'm a lecturer, I don't feel, although there is no time frame, I work 24 hours a day, but I don't feel it because I'm doing it with passion. Hence, another thing that I strongly believe, that if we instill in ourselves the understanding that if we work hard, if you work hard, there is nothing that there's nothing that's beyond you. You can learn and you can improve in any area, but you have to instill in yourself, the understanding, I can do it. You can do anything you set your mind to. You should wholeheartedly believe that with the correct resources and sincere efforts, you can achieve your goals. And always stay focused and don't lose sight of the things which matters most. With that, I would like to share this video, Omar, just to
Sure.
give a boost to our topic.
Okay.
With that video, I would like to proceed. My advice to everyone, and based on my life experience, don't give up. When things get tough, which they will, and that is life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions clearly so many times in the Quran, لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us trials and tribulations to test us who is the best of you with amal. But at the same time, we have so many things to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. The very fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us life today and we are talking and breathing and kicking, that is Allah's ni'mah. So never give up when your goals get hard to reach. Keep trying, because if you do, subhanallah, and I'm talking on this topic based on my life experience, not necessarily myself, but I have witnessed people for the rest of their life, they are kicking themselves for not for have given up, giving up, at that stage of life and not pushing themselves and keep trying. Be the best in whatever you do. This is itqan. Jangan buat benda just to get it done. That is a very, 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 very bad habit. Whatever we do, do it with itqan, with excellence, with precision. Yeah? Always reach for the sky. If you don't reach it, at least you get to touch the cloud. So if you set a goal for yourself, set a goal that some people will say that's impossible. But we as Muslims, we should already have it in our DNA. Nothing is impossible because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there and He can make kun fayakun, anything happen. Therefore, why not, target the sky? And another thing, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there will be a time when holding on to your deen, to Islam, will be like holding on to hot coals. And this is, we are actually witnessing this and experiencing this on a daily basis. To perform salat on time. During that time, there will be lunch meetings, there will be distractions from our friends to do asar. That is the time when there are meetings being carried out, etc., etc., and we only end up performing our asar, even though it's clearly mentioned in the Quran, wal asri innal insana lafi khusr, at 6 or 7 just before Maghrib. And to dress appropriately according to the Islamic code is also such a mission. Because of this, there will be a time when holding on to your deen will be like holding on to hot coals. Now let's shift to Alvin Toffler, okay? the Sifu or mentor of the 21st century, considered so. What did he say? The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn and relearn. Kesombongan ini is a norm. Kita selalu cakap, we always say, we have, you don't have to tell us, we already know that, we already read that, kita dah makan garam before you and etc. And then we think that we know so much that there is nothing that other people can improve or add to what we know. So this is the sickness of the 21st century, where we think that we have so many people, including us, that it's not that we cannot read, it's not that we cannot write, but it is we do not have the ability to learn because we think we have completed everything, and we also do not have the courage to say, okay, I learned this, but it is time I unlearn this because it's no longer relevant, and relearn what we think we know, but this time with a different perspective, and therefore it is time that we are living in a time that it is crucial that we learn, unlearn, relearn, co-learn in a majmu'ah, in a group, and co-create. The way forward in the 21st century is for collaboration and for negotiation and for doing things as a group, as a jama'ah. I quote now Steve Jobs. What did he say when he feels that it's time to change? What does he say? For the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know that I need to change something. That's Steve Jobs. Yeah? And that is, now let's look at our own Islamic tradition. Sayyidina Ali karamallahu wajhahu said this statement way back in the 40 Hijriyah. What did he say? من تساوى يوماه فهو مغبون ومن كان أمسه أفضل من يومه فهو ملعون ومن لم ير الزيادة في دينه فهو إلى النقصان ومن كان إلى النقصان فالموت خير له من الحياة. What does that mean? Whoever's day to day is the same, fahuwa maghbunun. Okay? Dia dalam keadaan kerugian. Okay? He has lost the battle from the very beginning. وَمَنْ كَانَ أَمْسُهُ أَفْضَلْ مِنْ يَوْمِهِ فَهُوَ مَلْعُونٌ. And whoever's yesterday was better than today, then he is in a mess. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَرَ الزِّيَادَةَ فِي دِينِهِ فَهُوَ إِلَى النُّقْصَانِ. And whoever does not witness increase, improvement in his deed on a daily basis, then he has lost the battle. وَمَنْ كَانَ إِلَى النُّقْصَانِ فَالْمَوْتُ خَيْرٌ لَهُ مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ. And whoever is facing that, then death is better for him than living. So we need a paradigm shift in our life. We must always try to change from our old ways and improve and embrace new ways, because to get what we've never had, we must do what we've never done. That's logic. We cannot continue to maintain previous practices and expect a different result and just making dua, oh Allah, I want this and want that. But there is no improvement, and we're still continuing to do what we've been doing for the past God knows how many years. And amidst all the insurmountable problems that life is bringing us, be it poverty, racism, violence, etc., we need to believe that we can be, and actually it is time for all the young Muslims, try to be the catalyst for change. We need to be the catalyst for change. Okay, penggerak perubahan. And even though in order to be the catalyst for change, yes, we will continue to get resistance. People will be talking about us, telling us things, accusing us this and that. Yes, we will be mocked and humiliated by many. Yes, we will still be seen by many as the outcast or the ghuraba. People say, hey, this is no longer relevant. Relax. Why you want to be so difficult? But didn't our Prophet Muhammad SAW mentioned and informed us that Bada al-Islamu ghariban wa sayaudu ghariban fatuba lil ghuraba. What does that mean? Islam started as something of that people did not know, something foreign, and towards the end of time it will go back to being something foreign. Fatuba lil ghuraba. And may Allah SWT have mercy, and Allah will help those ghuraba, which is us. Yes, it is not an easy task. Nothing good comes easily. Yes, we are not going to have a smooth ride. That's life. But is it impossible? No, it is not. Sayyidina Ali Karamallahu Wajhahu again said, love amongst people in such a manner that if you die, they weep over you, and if you are alive, they crave for your company. And Peter Wango said, our life is going to be judged by building an impact and influence on other people's life. Mahatma Gandhi, I quote Mahatma Gandhi here. What did he say? You must be the change you wish to see in the world. We cannot wait, okay, we will change when things change. No, we want the change. We need to be the catalyst for that change and change things. The best way to predict the future is when we create it the way we want it. After all, didn't our beloved Prophet Muhammad SAW say, Khairun nasi anfa'uhum linnas. The best among you are those who are the best for others. I conclude with the poem from Imam Shafi'i. نعيب زماننا والعيب فينا وما لزماننا عيب سوانا ونهج ذا الزمان بغير ذنب ولو نطق الزمان لهجانا وليس الذئب يأكل لحم ذئب ويأكل بعضنا بعضا عيانا. We blame our time, though the blame is actually on us. No fault has time, but it is us who are at fault. We rebuke time for all the shame. Had it a tongue, it would reprimand us. The wolf does not devour its own kind, and yet humans devour each other openly. That's my slides.
Okay, that was very beautiful. I think I very much enjoyed it. I think, to get the content of it, I think, people need to watch it a few times, because I think it speaks, very dearly to a lot of, people of, many ages. It talks about we need to find a struggle or a mission which is beyond just our ego. We need to strive not just to be happy in this world, but also in the next. A lot of people are too busy, working, chasing and building big houses, getting the fast cars, but are they actually have they prepared themselves for the life after? So I think my question then, Prof, so what would you say on that aspect of people living just for the sake of this world? Like, can they be happy? And if they can't, what is the antidote to this?
Okay, first and foremost, we need to be truthful to ourselves. Those who think that they are running after this world and they seem to believe, or sometimes, and I've discovered this in reality. I've seen this and I'm seeing this on a daily basis. Some people, they are living in a fantasy, a fallacy, that it comes to a stage that they no longer can see reality, because their whole life is a lie, and nothing that comes out from their mouth is besides a lie, and therefore they are living a lie. And at the end of the day, yuladul insanu ala fitrah, right? Allah SWT created us. Our fitrah does not allow us to be doing wrong and be able to sleep soundly.
I think you're completely right on that, because a lot of people now, they have that problem, insomnia.
Yeah, they can't sleep.
Because you're right, they are going against their fitrah. The nature of man is, of course, we know that we're supposed to worship Allah and do ibadah to Him, but a lot of people don't have that. They don't know that, or they know that, but they don't really understand it in a way that makes them want to continue. Istiqamah, for example, like you mentioned, praying on time.
Because their whole life they have been denying it. Once you love a lie, and I've seen this, I just told you, that this person can no longer see haqiqah, can no longer see reality and the truth, because their whole life is a lie, and because that's easier.
Yeah.
To be doing good. That's why Rasulullah SAW said there will come a time where to hold on to our deen is like to hold on hot coals. It's not an easy thing. Of course, to enter Jannah, let's not talk about Jannah. Okay, I always subhanallah, we don't deserve the Jannah. Just to get Allah SWT rida. It's so difficult in this time. And if you think that you can just first, we don't own anything. We're so ungrateful. We don't own anything. Nothing. Our husband, we don't own it. our children, we don't own it. And so there's a fallacy that we are living and thinking that we can control things, that we have this, we have that, we have a PhD. What is a PhD? Permanent head damage. Because it makes you feel that you so besar kepala, or Abah always quotes me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are abir sabil. Rasulullah SAW taught us, remember this, we are just passing through this life. All that Allah is giving us in abundance, or things that we are craving but we cannot, because we have to always remind, hey, this is not the permanent place. We are just passing through. We are going somewhere. There's some place that is waiting for us, be it this or be it that. It depends on how we live and pass through. So kalau kita we start traveling from Kuala Lumpur to Johor Bahru, we have to stop at the R&R, and how we can spend the whole journey listening to blaring rock music or whatever, and then reach our destiny. We have a puncture, etc., or we can fill the journey up with recitation of salawat, the Quran, etc., and looking at ta'ammul, we observing Allah SWT creation, this and that, and at least having the sawab with the tasbih, zikir. If we don't have time before this, now we just sitting down if we are passenger, or while we're driving. So with all the tick in our finger, we can still do the zikir if we say we don't have time before. So fabi'ayyi ala'i rabbikuma tukadziban.
Wow. So, Prof, my question then, getting back to the main topic of today, knowing yourself. So, what advice would you give to someone? Let's say, they have actually done a degree. For example, your son in aircraft engineering, but then he has another passion, but let's say the market right now is not ready to employ him or his passion on that area. What's your advice then?
Okay. Omar, I cannot see you.
Oh, sorry, I think my camera. Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. Coming back to my point, be the catalyst of change, and if you want, if you envision a future, you must create the future. So, if there is no job, then you have to be brave enough to find where your passion, where is your strength. So concentrate on your strength. If you know for yourself, based on your own experience, you are a people person. You like to interact with people. And you see the smile in people's faces after you interact with them. You can see that you can make a difference. So pursue that. If the job is not there, create it. Create the job. That with subhanallah, this COVID is such a hikmah actually. Before, don't talk about 10 years ago, 3 years ago, it's impossible for us to invite prominent speakers to come to our platform from all over the world without having to pay them. Because we have to pay their flight ticket, their accommodation, blah 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 blah. Now the platform is free.
That's right.
And before this, we say, we cannot learn this technology, we don't want to unlearn or relearn things. So we say, never mind, I am the old school, I go for text. I just want to use this because the references are all textbooks. Now, in abundance, we have PDF, people have prepared for us, PowerPoint. So, youngsters, if you can't find job, create job. I was watching a few YouTube videos on baking without, you don't have an oven, now you can bake without an oven, just on your stove. You don't have a mixer, you can just kacau saja, you can just stir. So the market is there. So be brave, open your eyes and see. what is the market looking for? What can I, as my personality is like this, what can I contribute? Do your homework. Look, okay, I'm living in this area. There's so many kids that are not able to go to school, or now they just started, so they're very, very backwards because their parents had to go to work also, so they were left alone with the internet, although studies were online. They need coaching, so I can coach them online as an abang or as a kakak to them, talk their same language, and it's a free platform, and I can be a mentor to them. And people will not, they will appreciate me because they don't know me. Maybe if I go wider, then people that know me will say, alah, dia ni pass grade dia pun, who cares? Who cares?
Betul.
So you have to decide. You have to explore and be brave enough to say, I can do this and I want to do that.
Okay. So I think you got to excuse my camera. I think something wrong there, but I think just on that note, right? You mentioned that there shouldn't be any excuse. People should look for their passion, and they should take the initiative to actually see and seek out teachers. Who can guide them, mentors who can guide them.
And Omar, by the way, on this topic, there is so many free online platforms to upgrade yourself with certificates from Harvard, from MIT, through edX, EDX, Coursera. So many, all these platforms are free, and there's thousands of institutions, worldwide institutions that we because of our credential, we will never be able to enter there, but online we can. So no matter what we are, we can take a certificate in big data from MIT, and so when the time is better and we need to go and apply for a job, what makes us different from the other applicants? We have a certificate in this from MIT, we have a certificate in this from Columbia University, etc., etc.
So I think you're right. I like the optimism that people should reframe. Instead of seeing the pandemic as something bad, as something negative, they should see it as a hikmah, like you mentioned. So I think we're just a bit behind schedule, but let's get back to summarizing and concluding your points, and what's the summary, what's the take home message that you want our audience and listeners to bring home and take it as something that they can utilize for today.
One, we must have a clear understanding of who we are. Okay. And a clear understanding, and we can actually see with colors what is our vision and our mission. We need to do everything with passion. We need to acculturate this itqan, ikhlas and excellence in all our undertakings, and not just for the sake of finishing it. Why? Because we are the ambassadors of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because of our actions, wrong actions, our despicable actions, people now are mocking our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are criticizing him. Why? Because they are observing how Muslims are. Now, how on earth are we going to show our face in front of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because of us, this is happening. So we need to believe that we are the ambassadors of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are the ambassadors of Islam. Therefore, it is supposed to be in our DNA to do everything with itqan, ikhlas and excellence. And don't believe in this fallacy of it's impossible lah, mustahil lah, jangan buat lah, relax lah, there's no such thing. If you instill in yourself the belief that I can do anything I want because I'm not doing it, hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir, wala hawla wala quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. Yes, if it's just me, it's impossible. But I'm not doing it by myself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me. He will give me the strength to do what people think is impossible.
So that's beautiful. I think a lot of people, they live isolated, alone, at least spiritually. You know, a lot of people, they think that in this cause, or in this jihad, if you will, so they think that they are alone. But like you mentioned, and you put it beautifully, hasbi Allahu ni'mal wakil. So Allah should be something that you should find strength in. That's why we do salah. A lot of people think that salah is an obligation for, just because we have to worship Allah. But it's in the main point of salah is for us to get strength. Every zikr should actually fill the fibers of our being with strength. It should actually get us closer and remind us the reason of our existence.
Yeah, that is why our Creator is calling us 5 times a day. Macam nak masuk minyak.
Betul. Nak
Because
makan.
He created us. He knows how vulnerable we are. We need to come to His presence at least 5 times a day. And another thing before I forget, Umar, if you allow me.
Yes.
This, everyone, youngsters, you have to find a mentor. You have to find a guru that you can be inspired with. Read about successful people's life. Successful in the meaning that they have really made a difference in it. And see what is the secret recipe. I have subhanallah, I have been blessed with so many beautiful individuals as my mentors, starting with my own parents. Abah, Pak Habib, Syed Hussein Al-Attas, came without me knowing where he came from, and until now, he is my guide.
I think I like the point you brought up in like seeking mentors, but I have to put this in as well. A lot of youngsters nowadays, or myself included previously, like we think that the mentor is someone from the West. I'm not saying that they are bad, but all like their values are very different than what is good for us holistically. If you're talking about living a life where this world is the only thing that matters, then yeah, fine. The Western mentor or role model is what you want to follow. But as Muslims, we know that it's much more. It's multi-layer. It's a multi-dimension thing where we need to live with akhirah in mind, because for us that is a more sustainable happiness. That is a more a worthy cause. And that is why you need the right mentors and role models who have the right values to guide you to see that, you're not here just for the big house or the podcast, but there's also a more permanent life. So find mentors who have both of these areas covered, I think, or you can have both mentors then. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. I have both. I have my spiritual mentor, Abba. He is a loving legend, which I look up to. My quality management and mentor was Prof. Muhammad Reza Wahidin, who is now the Vice Chancellor of USIM. Datuk Hamisa Tafsir, the KSU, the Secgen of MOSTI, Minister of Science and Technology. They really, my qualifications is Arabic literature. Usually Arabic literature is just ustazah. But these people took me, they believed in me, and they say, you go learn. You learn blue ocean strategy. You learn about quality management. I don't want to hear anything because I see potential in you. You learn. So that is why we need mentors that can believe in us, that can see that we are worth more than what we think we are worth, and just follow that path. And those supposedly successful Western people, they're not happy. Coming back to my first point, that's why when we watch the movies, they come back at the end of the day, they must drink in the office. They must drink liquor because why? To forget they are in denial because they are going against the fitrah.
So let's say if a student or a youngster who wants to reach out to the mentor, how should their attitude be? What is the adab for actually seeking out mentor?
Humility.
Humility, yeah. Okay.
Unlearn.
How would you do it? For example, masih you student dulu, how did you seek out your mentor?
This is I did not. This is the berkat of the doa of my parents. They were really spiritual people, and it's I strongly believe that I am where I am because of all their dua and their blessings. Otherwise, I would have been with the grease lightning and Saturday Night Fever. That's where I was, with the hairstyles, with one clip here and tight jeans, and that was how the life was around me.
So, Prof, you were blessed, right? So, what if someone who's not that blessed and they have to actually do it like slowly, but moving in the right direction? How would you guide them to seek out mentors?
Dua.
Okay.
In prayers, you do. Allah is watching, right?
Right.
So Allah, laisa bizallamin lil ibad. Allah is never zalim to his, but Allah loves ilha. What does ilha mean? He likes to hear people pleading, oh Allah, cry and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I remember, you now just reminded me of a point. At one point in time, I was around 16 or 14, and Nisfu Sha'ban is coming after tomorrow, right?
Right.
On the night of Nisfu Sha'ban, I was in a mess. In my sujood, I said, oh Allah, I don't have to explain. I know I don't have to explain. You know all the maksiat that I'm doing and how that my life is, but I do not want to continue in this path.
Right.
Give me the strength. Show me the way. Please save me from myself and from this dunya. I want to be good for my, I want to be good as my parents expect me to, because there are things that you do in life your parents don't know.
Yeah, betul.
You can't speak to them about this because it's embarrassing, and the trials that you are going through, you know. So and at that juncture, on the night of Nisfu Shaban, I pleaded, and I am where I am now.
MashaAllah. So I think this is a key point I think our audience should know, and it's on the aspect that we as the abid atau the slaves of Allah, we should remember one, that we need to ask him, waqala ud'uni astajib lakum. We need to be down there on tikar semayang on the sajadah and plead to him, ask for him, and we have to first put ourselves down and be humble. That is when we can reconnect with our source, with our creator. So why do we do that? It's very simple. It's where we can level up, or it's where we can isi minyak, like you mentioned. So when we do that, we put ourselves down. So our ego, which we think we exist, in reality where we don't. So but when we let that ego out of reality, that's when we realize something much deeper. And I think a key point that Abah, Professor Al-Attas always talks about, the virtue of La ilaha illallah. So that particular philosophy is something that if you understand and hold as a philosophy of your life, you will find happiness, inshallah. You will find rizki, and all these things that you hold dearly, like your husband, wife, children, and everything. You know that they are just something that comes there as an amanah, and they're not real. So, what's the secret of success? What's the secret of being happy? It's just that, knowing that, hey, relax. You don't actually exist as you think you exist. It's a scary reality for sure. It's a scary fact or a statement to make, especially for those who have been so inculcated, and the reality, the framework that the Western, Netflix has taught us that, okay, we see this, we think that we go graduate, be retired, and everything is so real. But end of the day, we don't know that the actual philosophy as Muslims, we need to understand that the existence that we think is real is questionable.
Yeah. On that point, Omar, the Jews, the Orthodox Jews, until now, I was living in UK for 5 years, in a road where it was full with Orthodox. They don't have television.
Oh.
They don't have television because all this fallacy. They support. It's their money that is being pumped for Netflix, etc., to destroy the whole world.
Right.
Because that's their mission. Because
that's
to them,
their
belief is they are the superior. The others are just created to serve them, and therefore they make sure that this dirty things, influence, will not enter their own house.
So they are smart because they use it as a propaganda. It's like the Trojan horse. They give it as a gift to us. We think that it's actually something that will make us happy after a long day of work. We watch Netflix, it's good for us. But end of the day, they are putting poison in our mind. And what I mean by that, okay, let's say you are mature, you know your religion, okay, that's fine. But what about your children? What about your kids who will probably, word for word, literally accept? And Auzubillah min zalik, that will destroy us as Muslims. That will go ahead.
Recently, you just brought up our children. My cucu, my grandson, who just turned 4 years 2 days ago. When he was about three and a half or something, because of how my daughter speaks in front of him. So one day, you know what he blurted up? "Mommy, shut up, you drama."
Oh my God.
And she was shocked. She called me, Mama, Saleh, I said, just said this. I said, itulah padan muka you. Because this is kullu insan yuladu ala fitra.
Betul.
They are clean. The way they grow up is how you act in front of your children.
Betul.
So, I was telling my husband, subhanallah, we are looking at all this in reality. It's happening in our own life, and we preaching to this and that. In our own family, we watching this and witnessing this.
Yeah, I think that's why, as Muslims living in the 21st century, it's up to us, to actually speak about this, build awareness. And inshallah, I think University of Life, what we strive to do is provide resources to people to have that awakening, to basically lift their spirits up. And what do we mean by actually, igniting their spirits? Is just giving them first the seed of realization, the seed of truth. Because all this while, without a mentor or a guide or a knowledge, you will just exist and go about your life watching Netflix, paying your bills, going to work, clocking in, clocking out, but not knowing why you're here. And I think, of course, a lot of more learned people would know yang apa untuk beribadah. We are here to beribadah. But then, how many people yang betul-betul get that concept? And inshallah, I think this one, I mean, Prof, we definitely want to appreciate you for coming in today and spending your time to share your insights and knowledge. Inshallah. Of course, and inshallah, this is what we strive to do. So for anyone listening or watching today, if you feel that there's someone worthy to share their insights on this platform, please feel free to message us on our Facebook or Instagram page and just, nominate a person who can share. And I would love to bring them on this platform. And so just for our audience information as well, this conversation right now will also be converted in podcast format, where Al-Attas University of Life, we have a podcast channel as well. So those of you who cannot watch, who's busy Saturday, you can also listen while you're commuting on the podcast. It's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Inshallah, this is something that Prof. S.H. Al-Attas, he mentioned he wants this to be an amal jariyah. We would like this to be something that we can give for free. It's something so that you can use and inshallah may benefit your life, and then you can go ahead and do good, be a force of good. So this is what we want. We want people to be good and know why you should be good, and knowing that being good is the best path for you, for your dunya and akhirat. A lot of people think that, oh, I need to be sneaky, I need to be manipulative. They read books like the 48 Laws of Power, and they think that's the paradigm that they should use in a corporate world or whatever environment, that they don't know that what our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has been talking about, doing good, being those who are the most beneficial to as many other human beings. That's the best. So inshallah, I think maybe I will give you one last opportunity to wrap up your point, and then inshallah we will call it a day for this session.
Thank you. I am very, very grateful, and may Allah bless Said Hussein Al-Attas, Abah, Pak Habib for this effort, and Umar for you. Find everyone out there, find a mentor, find a person that can inspire you. Come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are living towards the end of time, and we can't take it for granted that we're going to live tomorrow, then we have time to taubat. No, do whatever we do it with passion, and do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and believe that we are not doing it out by ourselves. Walakin hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, ni'mal maula wa ni'mal nasir. There is wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah al-aliyyil azim. There's nothing that we can do without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Apa ilmu yang kita ada, whatever little ilm, knowledge that we have is nothing. It's but what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us.
So Prof. Rahman, I think with that, that's beautifully concluded today's session. And inshallah, I hope that you continue to pray for Abah, for myself, and the institution of Al-Attas University of Life. May Allah allow this to be our jihad, our cause to improve this world or whatever we can, and to benefit people, and to give what we can. So again, Prof. Rahman, thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning and now it's afternoon with us. And inshallah, if anyone wants to connect with you, let's say for advice or just sending an email or connect with you, how can they do that?
I will type it here, Umar.
Yeah, just type it there, and I'll share that with on other channels as well. So, anyone listening, if you would like to send Prof. Rama a thank you, or basically a message for advice, or if you'd like to be connected to someone in the lecture world, I'm sure Prof. Rama would be more than happy to connect. And basically,
I have recently just launched my own wakaf time at the university, because time is very limited. I'm counting the days that I live in this world. So I would like to contribute. So honestly, truthfully, anyone who think that that I can assist them in anything, please do connect with me. That is my email. And I will inshallah try to. I was in Facebook and Instagram, but I closed my account. There's too much distraction.
Agree. Alright. So Prof. Rahman, thank you so much. I've already dropped your email on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So anyone wants to seek advice or want to communicate and contact Prof. Rahman, you may do so through her email. So inshallah, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Inshallah, I would like to thank our guest speaker, Prof. Rahman. And with that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.